The Saucony Triumph 21 or the brand new Saucony Triumph 22? That is the question. So welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking all about the brand new Saucony Triumph 22. Now this is being released on the 1st of May. I wanted to get this video out there for you guys so you have some information on this shoe for when it drops, because I know there are so many Triumph fans out there. We're going to be doing things slightly differently today. Let me explain. Now I'm actually away on holiday next week and I'm recording this on the Friday, but I want to get this video out on the Monday and I want to get a couple of runs in this thing, at least one run, to give you guys my thoughts. As of right now, I haven't run in it, so we're going to be flipping the video around and I'm going to be starting off with the technical overview and then some comparisons between this and the 21 so you can see where the big changes are, and then at the end I'm going to be taking you guys out on the runs with me and I'll be able to then get that edited before I go on holiday. So that's the plan. I'm trying to do this so that you have a little bit of information on this shoe before the release date in case any of you are keen to pick it up. Now a quick disclaimer, this is indeed a pair of shoes I picked up at the London Marathon Expo that were kindly gifted to me by Saucony, but of course Saucony have no editorial control over this video. They have no idea of my thoughts on the shoe and they won't see anything before you guys get to see it here on YouTube. So with that out of the way, let's dive in and start with the technical overview. So we'll start off by saying I went true to size in this shoe, which is perfect, a UK size 13 for me. We're talking about a 10mm heel to toe drop. We've got 37mm of stack height in the heel and 27 in the forefoot. And in my UK size 13, it comes in at quite a heavy weight, 368 grams or 12.9 ounces. And we'll start our way at the back of the shoe, talk about the heel counter, ankle collar, tongue, lacing, upper, midsole, and finish with the outsole. Now bearing in mind all I've done at the moment when I'm recording this is walk around in it in the office. Running is to come shortly later in the video. So it's a very lovely slip-in feeling, as with a lot of Saucony shoes that I find. The Rides, the Triumphs, the Speeds even, I've got to say. This version really nice, but of course the Triumph being a more daily trainer, a bit more plush. So that starts with the cushioning in and around the ankle collar and the heel counter. It's lovely back there and it feels really nice and cushioned. A good cut under the ankle bone, they always do a good job there, and the tongue is medium plush, so it's not too thick but it does have a little bit of substance to it. So we'll see what happens in the hotter months, if it becomes a bit of a sponge. I don't know, obviously I'm in the UK, that happens about 3 days out of 365 here, but overall it feels very nice and it is gusseted. So the classic Saucony fit, I guess you could say, which is their form fit upper, it just sits over the top of the foot really nicely. So that's all good. We've got a very stout heel counter here. You can see it is just not moving. And again, as per usual, we've got a heel cup that runs up there. If you trace my finger and down the other side past that logo, it just feels really nice. The top bit's flexible, but of course at the back of it here is something in there to keep it nice and sturdy. The lacing looks to be a very standard lacing system. I haven't really done too much with it, but I'll give you more feedback on that in a second. And so overall it just feels very much Saucony-like in that first part. Big change from the first, from the 21, which is the engineered mesh upper. We've gone from a knit to an engineered mesh, and again it feels really nice, and they have indeed increased the width of the forefoot to cater for a wider amount of foot shapes, a bigger amount of foot shapes, which for me is never a bad thing because I do have a wider foot and it does feel really nice when I slip my foot in there. As per with all Saucony Triumphs, and I've tried the 20 and the 21, I do feel and notice that 10mm drop, but this cushioning, which we're going to come on to now, is extremely nice, and that cushioning is the Power Run PB. Now this is what we've seen in the Speeds and the Pros, I think, in the early days. This has been slightly remodeled for a more daily trainer experience, but you still get that soft plush bounceness, so they say. We'll find out later. It certainly does feel like that when I'm walking around around in it. But what I'm going to assume when they say they've remodeled it slightly is that they've just tried to make it a little bit more durable. So it's obviously not exactly the same formula as what we've seen in those previous models of the Speed and stuff, but it certainly does have most of its properties there. So again, we'll give you more feedback on that shortly. So that again is another big change, and that runs full length. There is no plate in this shoe. And then moving on to the outsole, we have their XT900 rubber, which covers most of the shoe. There is some exposed midsole in this channel here and a few bits and pieces in between some of the rubber, but overall there is a full, pretty much a full rubber coverage of the shoe, which in theory should give us good grip, but who knows, we'll see. We need to test it out on some wetter days. And so yeah, that's it for the tech. Now let me just give you the three big changes from the previous version to this one. There are three of them, and that is the upper. The upper's the first one. Now I tested the Triumph 21, I think it was the RFG, Run for Good, or it was some kind of eco-friendly version, and that had a flat knit upper on it. I'm going to be completely honest with you, I'm not sure if the normal version had that upper. I never tested it, but I do believe that this is the first change from that version that I've tested, and it is very comfortable. I've got to be honest with you, the upper in the other one and the 21 that I had, the knit one, it was a little bit coarse. It never caused me any issues. I just wasn't necessarily a massive fan of it. I'm always a fan of an engineer mesh upper, and this feels really good, albeit a little bit thick. So I will say to you that I do feel like in the hotter climates out there, this one might contain the heat a little bit more. The tongue, as I mentioned, may or may not become a sponge. Who knows? We'll soon see. I don't think it's going to be any issue in this country here. And the upper does look well ventilated, but again, it is relatively thick. So time will tell. More running to come on that one, but it is extremely comfortable, and I am noticing the wider footbed. It does feel really nice. I'm always for a wider footbed, and that is a welcome change for me, especially in a daily trainer. Not so much in racing shoes, but definitely in a daily trainer. They did also mention they've revised the rocker in this shoe, so we'll see about that when we get out on the run. The second big change is the weight. This has indeed increased weight by 14 grams in my size. So the 21 was 354 grams, this one is 368, and this is very much getting to the top end weight. In fact, I think it's one in the top three of my heaviest daily trainers that I now own, which is really surprising because it just doesn't feel that heavy in hand at all. And again, when we get out there on the run, I will give you more feedback as to if I notice that weight or not. But genuinely in hand, I said it in my London Marathon videos when I picked it up, I said, oh, that's light. There's no way I would have put this down at 358 grams. But the reality is, it is. So that's 14 grams heavier, 12.5 ounces to 12.9, so 0.4 of an ounce heavier as well there. So if you work in ounces over a gram. So that's the second thing. And the third thing, the midsole. Power Run PB as opposed to Power Run Plus. So we've now upgraded to the PB. And so yeah, I think what's happened is the weight has come more in the upper in this shoe because the midsole does feel super light and squishy. It feels lovely and wonderful. And again, I'll give you more detail on that when we get out on the run. But that is the next big change. So basically the Power Run Plus that was in the Triumph has moved to the Ride 17. And again, although that has an 8mm drop, if you're loving that foam and you're loving that experience in the Plus, then you might want to consider the Ride 17. But for me, I'm hoping this is a good upgrade with adding the Power Run PB in it. So we'll soon find out. So we might as well leave it there and just head out on the run and see how they do. Okay, so welcome to the run. I am 40 minutes into a 60-minute easy run. Just bumped into James, my friend, so we shared some miles, and it's given me a real good chance to feel out these shoes. A couple of buzzwords that come straight into my head. Soft, it's like running on a memory foam mattress. I can definitely feel they've tinkered with the formula. It's not like the Endorphin Speed or Pro soft, but it is better than the Plus, and the Plus is good. But I'm enjoying this a lot. The wider forefoot, very noticeable. I'm literally, as I'm running now, splaying my toes, and that's a lovely feeling. So that's welcome. Stable, very stable. I feel very in control of every foot strike. The wider platform, I alluded to it in the intro section, or the first section. I'm all for a wider platform in a nice easy daily plodder, not so much as it gets to the speed shoes, because I do feel like it takes away some of the edge of the shoe. But when I'm out here logging easy miles, it's definitely appreciated. So I'm going to finish this off and I'll give you some more thoughts shortly. There we go, an hour complete. So let me give you my thoughts. Basically, exactly as I said out there, lovely and soft. Just walking now, so comfortable, so soft. Couple of reservations, but overall an amazing shoe. For me personally, an upgrade from the 21, but here it goes. Number one, 10mm drop isn't my favourite. I do find it a bit too much. Although it's nice to bring these out occasionally if your calves are a bit sore, or just to relieve a bit of pressure on the calf area. Overall, running in them, 8mm is my sweet spot, so that's why I've enjoyed the Ride 17 so much. But that's just a personal preference. The other thing, the weight wasn't an issue when I was running, but as you can see, it's been raining. The shoes are quite heavy now, and they haven't really got any lighter. They haven't managed to get rid of a lot of the water that is going into them. Not that my feet are wet in the slightest, but I feel like the material is soaking it up. So yeah, it kind of confirms my suspicions that the upper may or may not be a bit of a sponge when it comes to sweat or rain. But overall, I've got to say, guys, this is a great shoe. This is a really good shoe, very comfortable. For me, as I said, an upgrade from the 21. The only question mark I have, I suppose, and grip is good by the way in this weather, the only question mark I have is it going to be as versatile? Because I could pick up the 21 and run moderate runs in them really well and feel really good. So I guess that's more testing to come. But overall, a very good first run in them. Really enjoyed them. I definitely feel like it's a premium daily trainer, especially with the comfort and the materials used in this shoe. It definitely feels good. So yeah, we're just gonna have to do a little bit more testing on this upper in wetter conditions, see if it, especially if I'm moving at speed, if it clears the water more or whatever happens. But other than that, big thumbs up for this one. So there you go, Saucony Triumph 22 first run. Bit of a change round in the video. I appreciate you guys sticking with it. A bit of a different structure, but good fun to take it out there. So appreciate you guys watching. Thanks so much. I will see you on the next one.